troubleshooting RHEL7 Linux boot. So we will see now how we can do some troubleshooting of the problems of booting. Now in RHEL, in our Linux, most common problem we faced, normally a common problem. Now this problem is not from the system, it is from us, that we forgot the password. This is not a problem for the system, it is not a booting problem basically. It is a problem like we forgot the password. That means we didn't remember something, we didn't remember the password, we just forgot the password. What was the password, we don't remember. Now, how we can access the password? We have two options. First, we can format it everything, we can remove everything and reinstall it fresh. Second option is to recover the password. Now first option is very hard because if the server is up and running and you are having lots of things configured, then it is not easy for us to just remove everything and reinstall it everything. It is not possible every time, or not possible on, never possible maybe, because whenever you have a server, it will always be running and it will always be having lots of applications installed. So we can't just remove everything. Now we lost password or we forgot password. How we can forget the password? Mostly we lost the password. Maybe the password with the administrator or who knows the password, maybe he's not around, or maybe he leaves the jobs and he's not accessible to give the password what is configured. So in those cases we don't have to reinstall the system. So for solving the problem, Linux has allowed us to reset the password. Now remember, we cannot recover the password. This is important. You cannot recover the password which was already there. We can only reset the password because the password stores in a very harsh hashing algorithm. It uses SHA and also 512 bit. So it is very difficult, or it is impossible to reverse that hashing. Reverse hashing is not reversible. Encryption is reversible, but the hashing is not reversible. So we can reverse the encryption, but hashing we cannot reverse. And SHA is a very latest hashing algorithm, advanced hashing algorithm, and it is having 512-bit encryption hashing, so it will never be recovered. It is very much impossible to reverse that hashing. So no one can recover the password. So what we can do, we can reset the password, we can change the password, new password. Now how we can do this? Let us see how we can reset the root password. So this is my system. I started my system. I reached up to this login screen, but I don't remember password for the user root. I have a password for this user and this user, but these users are not administrator and not a member of any wheel group or not having any sudo permission. So I am not able to do any administrative task. And for that I have to go to the user root login, and when I try that, I don't remember the password. I try to log in with root, but I don't remember the password. It is giving me the error that is sorry, that didn't work, please try again, because I don't remember the password. Now in this case, what we do here, basically it was very easy. In previous versions of Linux, it was very easy to recover the password or reset the password. Not recover, actually reset the password. It was very easy. If you remember, in previous versions of Linux, we had run levels. That run level 0, run level 1, run level 2, run level 3, 4, 5, 6. Now on those run levels, we had run level 1. And that run level 1, what we have in run level 1 is that when you go to run level 1 in previous versions, then what happened? You logged into your system without any services. That mode is for the run level is for troubleshooting, and it is also called single user. Why? Because there is only one user can log in onto that level. Linux is multi-user operating system, but at run level 1 only one user can log in, and that one user is root. And the interesting thing was that user root logs in without any password. That means when you go to run level 1, you can log in without any password. Now how you do that? Right now we are not having a system, we are not logging, we are not able to log into the system. So how we can go to the run level 1? In previous versions also. For going to run level 1, we have to run the command init. Init space 1. The command is for init space 1 to go to single user mode. But right now we are not having any terminal, we are not logged in. So at that time also what we do, we actually reboot the system first. So if you are not able to log in, so what you do here, first we'll reboot the system. And it is starting, and at this time at the menu entry we will stop the timer here by pressing up or down arrow key. Then we select the kernel. Remember, I am talking about the previous versions, not on RHEL 7. Before RHEL 7, when there was no system D, there was init. Sys init was working. So what we do that time, we select the kernel and we press E. E is for editing the system, editing the kernel parameters. So when we press E on that time, now we see the whole script here. But in old versions, like if you go to RHEL 6 or 5, you will see only 3 lines. In previous version, you will see only 3 lines. What 3 lines you will see? The first line you will see this, which sets the root partition. Second line you will see, that is for loading the kernel. And the third line you will see is to load the initial RAM disk, RAMFS. These only 3 lines we see in previous versions. So what we do on previous version, we select the line number 2, that is for kernel. We select this kernel line and press E again. At that time we have to press E again. Now second time when you press E, then it will show you the whole line of this kernel, and it will show you the whole commands of the kernel which is passing through the command. Now at that time what we do, for going into single user mode on run level 1, what we do on previous time, we pass a command with the kernel. Remember, we can pass multiple commands with the kernel at the booting time. So what we do, we pass the command here at the kernel, and what we do, very simple. In previous version, we just have to add number 1, only number 1, or even you can add single also. Either you add single command or you add just 1, and then you press B to boot with this option. Just like in this version we press Ctrl X, in previous versions we press B to boot with this options. So when we boot with this option 1, our system goes into single user mode. Without any problem, it goes into single user mode, and when it goes into single user mode, that means only root user is available and root user logs in without any password. That means what you get a terminal of root user and without any authentication. And then what you can do, you can reset the password, you can do anything, whatever you want. And this is that is very easy. If you can see, it is very easier to reset the password in previous versions. Now in this version, if I try to do the same thing, it will not break the password. It is not possible basically. First, we don't have any run levels here in RHEL 7. So what we have here, we have different targets of system, like we have multi-user dot target for command line, graphical dot target for graphical interface, and do we have a single user mode here? So we don't have, but we have one, which is what we have rescue or emergency dot target. Now these are for troubleshooting, and these are for the same, as we can see it's the same as single user. Either we go for rescue dot target or we go for emergency dot target. Both are same, and both are do what? It will start the system in basic services, and you can do troubleshooting. And both are what? Single user, and single user means only root user will be available, others users will not be available, they are not able to log in, only one user can log in. But the problem here is that root user login with password. That means when you try to go to this emergency or rescue mode, it will ask password for root, and that is what we don't remember. If we try, we can do what? We can press E, and then we can go to the kernel line, and we go to the end of the kernel line. What we do here, for going into the mode other target, then we can pass the command systemd dot unit, and is equal to, we can type what? Emergency or rescue dot target, and we will boot with this option. Then what it will do, it will boot into rescue mode, it will boot into emergency mode, it will boot into a single user mode. We can say it is same as the single user mode in previous version. But the problem here is it will ask the password for root. So let's see if I try to do this. I will try Control X to boot with this option, and we'll see what happens. So it will go to the single user like mode, which is called emergency mode. But the problem is it will ask password for root again in here also. Now you see, now we are here. I will provide the password, and then I can get the access. So you can see here we are under the emergency mode, but to get into the mode, it says give root password for maintenance, and then it is saying give root password or type Control D to continue. Control D to continue means it will restart. It will restart, but it will never it will not allow you to log in without providing the password of root user, and that is what we didn't remember. So this mode is basically a single user mode. We can say, if you check run levels, it says that it is a single user mode. So it is a single user mode of RHEL 7, which is rescue or emergency, but we can't log in without password. So we can't do it like we did it in previous versions. So in previous versions it was very easy, but in these versions, in the RHEL 7, it is not that easy. It is not possible to do like this. Now what we do here? Now what we do here, and how we can break the password. So that single user thing is not working here. Run level 1 thing is not working here in RHEL 7. So what we do here? So here also we will do the same method, but we will do something else. So because I don't remember the password, so first I will do what? I will restart my RHEL 7, and I will go to the booting menu. So first restart it. And I will break the timer here on this boot menu. Now I will select this kernel, which kernel I want to boot, and then I will press E. Now here I will pass some command with kernel. So I'll go to the line of kernel, that is Linux 16. This is the line Linux 16, and I will go to the end of the line, and then here I will pass one option here. Now what option I will pass here? Just like we pass option for single user, I will pass one option also here. So we will pass an option here with the kernel, and the option will be rd dot break. Now what this option will do? It will just boot the it will just break the boot process. It will just break the boot process. That means when the system is booting, it will break the boot process. Now where it will break the boot process? So it will break the boot process in the middle of where our initial RAMFS is loaded and our main file system has loaded into sysroot. That means what it will do here, if you see the boot process, so these are the steps of booting, like what happened from step 1 to step 11. Now it will do what? rd.break will do what? It will break this boot process, and when it will break after this step 8. After this step 8, it will break the boot process. Now what is step 8? In this step, what happened? The systemd executes all units for init rd.target, and it will also load our main file system under sysroot. That means our main file system is loaded into this sysroot directory. Now this sysroot directory is under what? It is under this initial RAMFS. Initial RAMFS, that means our temporary file system. Our temporary file system is loaded into the RAM, and it is what? It is having all the important directories like run, etc, pid, proc, and all that directories are there. And in those file system, it creates one directory called sysroot, and under the directory sysroot, it mounts our original file system, which is stored in the disk, hard disk. So it loaded the file system here in this disk, in this directory. It mounted here. Now at this time, after it will mount, our rd.break option will break the boot process. Now what happened? Our main system has not booted. That means our main system is not started. It is just loaded into this sysroot directory. So what? Our system is running through the system initial RAMFS and from the kernel. So we don't have our main system loaded. So because our main system is not loaded, we will not see any password. And what we will do? We will get a terminal from initial RAMFS and without any password. Let's see how it works. So I provided this option rd.break, and with this option I am going to boot the system. So I will press Ctrl X. Now the boot process is running, and what it will do? It will break the boot process at the point of where? Now here it is, where our main system is loaded into sysroot directory. Now here, if you see, so it breaks the boot process. Now where it breaks the boot process, if you see here in these steps, it is saying here starting the file system check, and then it is mounting the sysroot. If you can see here, it is mounted, reach the target init rd root file system, and reloaded configuration from the real root, reach target init file system, and this and that, and suddenly what it do? It breaks the process. It is giving here warning, break before switch root. Before switch root. Before switch root, that means before switching our main file system into our system, it was break. and we are into the emergency mode now. Now this emergency mode is not from our system, so it is not asking any password. It is coming from the CD. It is coming from it is coming from initial RAMFS. So it is not asking any password for it. And now what? We get a terminal here. Now you can see we get the terminal here, and the terminal is what? Switch root. Now what we have here in this terminal, if I list, you can see all the directories here. Now these directories are from initial RAMFS. These are not our own directory. These are not our file system. These are the directories of initial RAMFS. And you will see it has been dev, it has etc, init, lib, lib64, proc, root, run, sbin, shutdown, sys, temp, usr, var. These are directories which is required to start the system. These are there in initial RAMFS. This is our temporary file system. Now our file system is loaded into this sysroot directory. So if I list this sysroot directory, so we can see this is the file system which is belong to us. Like this is our file system basic, where we have bin, boot, dev, etc, home, libs, media, mnt, op, proc, root, runs, sbin, this and that. So this is our main file system. If you can see, if you can verify, then you can check under the home directory. You can see that is there any user there? Oh, it is not there. Okay, that is having a different partition, that is why it is not mounted here. So this is what actually mounted here in this sysroot directory, our main system. Now what? I want to remove the password, because remember I can't change. So I can't recover. So I need to remove the password. Because I can't change, so I have to remove the password. So how I can do that now? So if our main system is there, so we have the etc directory also, and also we have a file where we have the passwords. So if I check here, cat under sysroot, we have etc directory of our main system, and in that we have a file which contained all the password of users. So if you check the file, you can see the password for the other users also, like user 1, like we have password for this user, Taki, you have password for user 1, and also we have password for root user. Now the file is going up, so what I will do here, I will use only head command to check the file. And this is the file shadow which contained the password. Okay, head command is not there because it is not having a main file system. It is initial RAMFS, so all the options will not be available. Okay, what I will do here, I will use vi. Remember, vim will also be not available. So sysroot, under that we have etc and that shadow file. So here we can see this is the username root and this is the password for root user at the first line. So root user and password is there. So this is our main system where we have all the informations. So if we check this sysroot, so we can see that we have all the information available. We have the etc directory, we have the shadow file, and we have the user password also. Now what? I want to remove the password of root, or I want to change the password. Remember, because you cannot recover it. You can see the password and the password is hashed. so you can't recover it. So what, you can change the password. Now for changing the password, first I will check who am I logged in. So it is saying this command is also not working. So I don't know which user authentication I have logged into, because it does not ask me any password. Let's try to change the password for root. So I will try to give command passwd to change the password for root, and give a command, give a username root. Now it is also not working. Now why these commands are not working? Because our main system is not loaded. This system is running from initial RAM-FS, and it is a temporary file system, and it is having not much commands on everything. It is not having anything basically. So what we do here now? Now what? We will mount our main file system manually. Remember, it is going to be automatically mounted after this step. But now what? We will mount it manually. We will load our main file system, because these commands are not working and I am not able to change the password for root. So what I will do, I will load my main system and then I can change the password. Now before loading the main system, first you have to make sure that you have write permission. Because what happened in this initial RAM-FS state, it loads the file system into sysroot, but it is not loaded this as a write permission. It mounted it only on read-only permission. It is not mounting the file system in read-write permission. We can check by mount command. Mount. So we can see all the system which is mounted. Now where is our system? So this is our partition dev SDA2, which is mounted on sysroot, and it is mounted on read-only format. It is mounted on read-only permission. We can grab it only. Let's try to grab SDA. So here we can see that it mounted this partition on sysroot, but it is mounted on read-only permission. So if we load the system also, it will still be read-only. It will not allow us to write anything. It will not allow us to change the password also. So first we have to make this read-write permission. We have to mount it in read-write permission. Then we can do what? We can change the password. So first I will do what? I will remount the file system. I will remount the partition on sysroot, and I will remount with read-write permission. So what I will do here, I will run command mount. This command is to mount the file system, and I will give option here. Option O. O is for option. Now what option I will give here? I will say remount. That means I want to remount the file system. So this option will do what? It will unmount and remount the partition. And with that I will give read-write option. That means I want to remount the file system but with read-write permission. Then again I will give the name of the partition, and then I will give, I don't have to give all, I just have to give the mount point. I don't have to give that where to mount, because we are doing remounting. So we don't have to mention that partition and directory name both. We just mention the directory name where the partition is mounted. So we just want to remount the partition, remount the directory with read-write permission. Now when I press enter, so now it did what? It remounted, and it remounted with read-write permission. Now again when we check with the mount command, so now we can see the partition is remounted, and now it is read write permission we have. Now when we have read write permission, then we can edit any file. We can edit any file, that means we can change password for root also. Now we have read write permission. Now we will do what? We will load our main system into our server, our system. We will load our main file system. For loading our main file system, we will run this command, chroot. Chroot is basically change root of file system. Now right now the file system root is from initial RAMFS. Now I want to change it to our main file system. Now main file system is under this directory. So what I will do here, I am changing the root for the file system from initial RAMFS to our sysroot, where we have our main system loaded. Now when I run this command, you will see the terminal will change. The terminal is saying switch root. Now when I load it, then the terminal will change. So when I enter here, now you see this terminal name is changed to sh. Now we are in sh shell. Now our most of the commands will work. And now when I check, now you can see it is directly showing our main file system here. It is not showing initial RAMFS, it is showing our main FS, our main file system. So now our main file system is loaded. Now what? All the command will work. So now if I check who am I, now it says that you are root. So I have in a root permission, I am getting the root permission, and our main file system is loaded. Now I can do other things also. For example, if you are having a problem of other things, like if you are having a problem of any other services or other configurations, then you can resolve that also. Like you have made some changes in FS tab, and then your system is not booting, then again you can come to here by following the same procedure, and in this step you will get the root access, and you will get your file system. Then you can change anything. You can change any configuration, you can change any file, you can go to etc, you can change any configuration files. So if any service is giving you the problem, then you can change it from here. And suppose your service is not allowing, it is stopping to boot your system, then you can come here and you can load the system, and then you can do what? You can edit the files. Now you have a read write permission on your file system, and also you are having the root access. I don't want to edit any file, I just want to get the password, reset the password. So I will run command passwd, and now this command will also work, and I want to change the password for root, and it says that changing password for user root, and you can give a new password, xyz at 123, xyz at 123. Previously it was ABC at 123. Now I change it to XYZ 123. And this is how we can change the password for root user. We cannot recover it, but we can only reset it. Now after doing everything, there is a last step which is most important one. If you forgot this step, then what happened? Your system will not start. And this step is related to SE Linux. This step is related to SE Linux. SE Linux is a secure enhanced Linux. It is a security feature available in RHEL servers, and this will do what? It will provide security for your system. It will provide security for the services and files and directories. So it do what? It provides security to your services and your file system also by Doing what? By tagging every system files, every files, and also services. Now what happened when we go to this mode, when we go to this rd.break, then what happened? That tagging, that labeling thing got corrupt, or suppose it is not working. So what happened when your system boots, then SE Linux needs to be relabel. SE Linux need to be relabel all the files. Now we have to indicate the SE Linux that you have to relabel it. Otherwise what happened? SE Linux will stop your system to boot. So after this you have to do the last step, and if you don't do this, then what happen? Your system will not boot. SE Linux will prevent it to boot. It will not allow. It will actually keep loading, and it will not start. And the step is what? To touch a file. We have to touch one file. We have to create one file under the main root file system, directly under the slash, and the file will be hidden. So it will start with dot. The file name will start with dot, and the name of the file will be auto relabel. Auto label. Remember the spelling. Spelling must be correct, otherwise it will not detect. So this means it is saying the SE Linux that you have to relabel the file system. So when our system starts, the SE Linux will check the file and it will do what? It will relabel the file. So it will relabel the files. So you have to create this file, you have to touch the file, you don't have to edit anything, you just have to touch the file. So this is important. Now if you forgot this step, remember, if you forgot the step, if you forgot to create the file, then what happened? Your system will not start. It will not start. But don't get panic. It is not corrupting, your system is not corrupted. It is only SE Linux is preventing it to start. So what you can do, you can follow the steps again. That means you do all these things again and come to this page, come to this shell, and then you create this file and then exit. So if you forgot to create the file and you try to start the system, it will not start. And if it is not starting, don't get panic, follow the step again. That means reboot the system, go to kernel edit, press rd.break and come to this shell, remount the file system and then touch the file. Remount the file system, load the file system, touch the file, exit, and it will work. But you have to create this file. So we have created it and we have reset the password for root also. So now we can do exit from here, back to the switch root. Now we can exit from here also and we can reboot. And that is how we break the password for root. And now it is going to be rebooted. Now I will boot normally, I will not do any editing. I press enter and it will boot normally and the password is changed. Now if we have not mentioned the auto relabel file, then it will take a very long and it will stuck on the SE Linux side. And then what happened? Your system will not start. So don't get panic. Go back to your system, go back to the RD break and then again create the file and it will start. So here it is started and the password, I know what password I did. So right now I give password XYZ at 123. So we have resetted the password for root, and this is how it is easy. It is not easy. It is not as easy as like in previous versions we have in RHEL 6 or 5, but still it is easy. But still it is easier for us to change the password for root, or not change, or we can say reset the password.